This video is going to look at factoring with the GCF. Now, what does GCF mean? It means greatest common factor. So in your Canvas, I've posted some of these CUDA sheets. And so let's just start with some of the simple ones. It says factor out the common factor. So I have an 8 here, and I have a 6x to the 4th. And an 8 and a 6 have a 2 in common. So what's going to go inside here? Well, what's going to go inside here is what is left when you divide each thing by 2. And 8 divided by 2 is 4. And 6x to the 4th divided by 2 is 3x to the 4th. And so that's what's going to go inside here. And then there's nothing more that we can do with the one that's inside there. Always look to see if you can break it down further. And so that's what I'm going to have for answer 1. Okay. Here we can see that they have a 2 in common. And what's going to go inside here? Well, if I divide 2 from each term there, so I'm going to have n left and then minus and 2. Okay. What about this? Well, with the numbers, they have a 4 in common. And I have n to the 9th, and then I have an n, so they have an n in common. So what's going to go inside there? Well, I have to divide each term by 4n. And so the 4's will cancel, and I'll have n to the 8th left. 12 divided by 4 is 3, and the n's cancel. And so that's what goes up in here. Okay. All right. Let's go to this one. Okay, so what do they have in common? 12 and 16 have at most in common a 4. And n to the 5th and n cubed have at most common n cubed. So what's going to go in here? Well, I'm just going to have to divide 4n cubed by each term. So 12 divided by 4 is going to give me 3. And n to the 5th over n cubed is going to be n to the power of 5 minus 3. 16 divided by 4 is 4, and the n cubes completely factor out. And so we're going to have that, and it doesn't look like I can factor that any further. So that's what I'm going to say the answer to 7 is. Okay. All right, now with this, what do negative 9 and negative 12 have in common? They have a negative 3 in common. And then I have x cubed and x, so they have an x in common. So what's going to go in here? Well, it's going to be what I get when I divide both by negative 3, x. So the negative signs cancel, and 9 divided by 3, you have 3. And then x cubed, take away x, you'll have x squared. The negative signs cancel, and 12 divided by 3 is 4, and your x's cancel there. And so that's going to be what goes in here. Okay, and we can see that. All right. What about this one? Well, let's do the easier one first. Okay, so what about something like that? I can see each term is divisible by 5. And if I divide each term by 5, I'm going to have k squared left over. And negative 40 divided by 5 is negative 8, and I still have a k. And plus 10 divided by 5 is plus 2. Now, we need to see if we can break that down further. We can apply the trick to that. Does it work? Are there two numbers that multiply together to give us positive 2, but at the same time add up together to give us negative 8? No, there's not. And so we cannot take number 9 any further. Okay. But let's just be clear on something like this. You want to factor it as far as it can go. So when I look at these, I see that they have a 5 in common. And so what's going to go inside here? Well, the 5s are going to cancel, and I have x squared left over. 35 divided by 5 is 7, so I'm going to have minus 7x. And 50 divided by 5 is 10. Now, we don't stop here. We look and see if we can factor this. Now, we can use the trick. Are there two numbers that multiply together to give you positive 10, but at the same time add up together to give you negative 7? And there are. Negative 5 and negative 2. Negative 5 times negative 2 is 10, and negative 5 plus negative 2 is negative 7. So from what we did in the last lab, we can go on to factor this one. Okay. All right. Something like this. I know 27 is 7 times 3, 49 is 7 times 7, and 63 is 7 times 9. So I can definitely factor out a 7. So what's going to go inside here? Well, what do we get when we divide everything by 7? I'm going to have 9m to the 6th left over, minus 7m to the 5th, minus 3m. And we can also factor out an m. Now, I could have pulled that out at the beginning. So always check that you can factor it further. And yeah, I can take out an m. So I'll be left with 9 times m to the 5th, minus 7 times m to the 4th, minus 3. Okay. So that's what I'm getting for number 10. Okay. Which is working out there. With this one, 49 is 7 times 7, 21 is 7 times 2, 77 is 7 times 11. So they do have a 7 in common, but the leading term is negative. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out a negative 7. And this is the way the department wants you to do it. If the leading term is negative, factor out the negative number. So the negative signs cancel here. 77 divided by 7 is 11, and I have the x squared. The negative signs cancel. 21 divided by 7 is 3, and I've got a y left over there. And 49 divided by negative 7 is negative 7. This is how the department wants you to do it. And also in the back of the book, the textbook, you'll see them like that. Let's have a look at what they do for number 18. They just pulled out positive 7, but then what happens is your leading term here is negative. The department prefers it this way. Okay. I'm not sure what WebWorks will do. It should accept either one. Okay. But you can always hit the email instructor if you don't see what's going on there. Okay, what about this one here? Okay, well, 24 is 12 times 2, 36 is 12 times 3, and 60 is 12 times 5. So I think 12 is going to be the largest factor. And because that's leading with a negative, I'm going to take out a negative 12. And what about the letters? Well, we have B's here and here, but we don't have a B term there. We do have A terms in everything, and they have it most in A in common, so I'm going to take out an A as well. Okay. So let's see what happens when I divide each term by negative 12A. Okay. So the negative signs will cancel. 24 divided by 12 is 2. One of these a's cancels, so I have 1 left over, and then I still have the b squared. 36 divided by negative 12 is negative 3. The a cancels, and then I just have a b. The negative signs cancel here. 60 divided by 12 is 5, and the a's cancel. So this is how UTM would want it. Let's see what they've done on 17. Okay, they only factored out the 12a, but then you've got this with a negative leading term. The reason why UTM likes this is when you factor out the negative, then you've got positive left in there. Now, there are 5 different sets with the answers. And so this is the second set, and it's a whole different set. So there are lots and lots and lots and lots of examples factoring out the greatest common factor in your Canvas. So I'm going to stop the video.